Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2-2 of May and June 2011, Math O-Level. Alright, let's move on to question number 1. Here we have expressed as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we have to try to make this as one fraction. So first step, you can see that the bases are different, so we can multiply them with each other. So we have 2x times 5x. Then we cross multiply, we have 5x minus 4x. That will give you x over 10x squared. So cut. That will be 1 over 10x. So that will be your answer for part A, 1 over 10x. Now for part 2, the same thing again. It's different base, so we multiply them with each other. Then we cross multiply, we have 4x minus 12 plus 7x. So now we have to simplify. We have 4x plus 7x, that will be 11x minus 12 over x squared minus 3x. So that will be your answer for part 2. Moving on to part B. A function is defined by f of x equal to this. Find f of 2. It means that we have to replace the value of x by 2. So let's do that. We'll have 2 times 2 minus 3 over 4. That will be 1 over 4. So 4 times. That will be your answer for part A. Now, it is given that f inverse of x equal to cx plus d. Find the values of c and d. So basically, we have to find the value of f inverse, and then from that, find the value of c and d. So step number 1, we always say let y equal to f of x, which is 2x minus 3 over 4. So then we have to make x subject of formula. So first step, we cross multiply, we will have 4y equal to 2x minus 3. So 2x will be equal to 4y plus 3. So x is 4y plus 3 divided by 2, which is 2y plus 3 over 2. So now f inverse of x is in terms of x, so we have to rewrite this 2x plus 3 over 2. Now we compare this to cx plus d. So c is 2, d is 3 over 2. Okay, so that will be part 2. Part 3, it says that find the value of g, so f of g. So we know f of x is equal to 2x minus 3 over 4. So f of g is equal to 2g minus 3 over 4 equal to minus g. So cross multiply, we have 2g minus 3 equal to minus 4g. That will be 6g equal to 3. So g will be 1 over 2, half. So that will be half here. So that was question number 1. Question number 2. The formula for area of trapezium is a equal to half times height times c plus d. Now, find an expression for c in terms of a, h, and d. So basically, we have to make c the subject of formula. So at first we have a equal to half h c plus d. So we can send this one over here. We have 2a equal to h c plus d. Expand the brackets, we have hc plus hd. So hc equal to 2a minus hd. So c will be 2a minus hd divided by h. So that will be part 1. Now for part 2, it says that the diagram shows a trapezium with dimensions given in centimeters. The perpendicular distance is 4 centimeters. So this is 4. And the area of the trapezium is 22. Find c. So we have to use this formula right here. C is given by 2 times a, which is the area, 22, minus h, which is the height, times d, which is 8, divided by 8, which is the height. So we'll just use the same formula here to find the value of C. So now let's replace in our calculator to see what we have. So here we have 22 times 2 minus 4 times 8 divided by 8. That will be 1.5. So the value of C is 1.5. So 1.5, that will be the value of C. Okay, moving on to part B. In the diagram, the region is represented by a rectangular picture frame. So it is this part which is shaded. So this part is the region that is shaded. So I think my ink is kind of over, so that's why it's not showing up. But this is the shaded region that we have in this diagram. It says this area represents the rectangular picture frame. The outer of the frame is 32 by 20 and the inside will be 26 by 14. All the measurements are given to the nearest centimeter, which is 1 centimeter, right? Now question part 1, calculate the lower bound of the perimeter of the outer rectangle. So outer rectangle. So the rectangle has a length and width. So what is the lower bound for this length? It will be 32 plus minus 1 over 2. That will be 32.5 and 31.5. And for its width, 20 plus minus 1 over 2. That will be 20.5 or 19.5. So how do you find the perimeter of the outer rectangle? Perimeter is always the distance around, so you have to add this, and this, right? So basically, we are finding the lower bound, so we have to take the lower values. So 2 times 31.5 plus 2 times 19.5. That will be the lower bound for the perimeter. 5 plus 2 times 19.5. That should give you 102. So the answer here will be 102 centimeters for the lower bound of the outer rectangle. Now here we have to calculate the upper bound for the area of the frame. So how would you find the area of this shaded region? You have to take the area of the big one minus the area of the small one, right? So now if you want to find the upper bound of area of big one minus area of small one, you have to take the max value minus the minimum value, so we get the upper bound area, if that makes sense, right? So let's find this. What is the max value for the big area? So here we have to take the max and the max, right? So let's do that. So this is for the big one. Max length will be 32.5 times max width 20.5 minus the small one. So for the small one, they have different length and width. So let's do that again. So for the length is 26 plus minus 1 over 2. That will be 26.5 and 25.5. And for the width, 14 plus minus 1 over 2. That will be 14.5 and 13.5. So lower bound minimum, that should be this one and this one. So 25.5 times 13.5 for the area. So let's do that. Times 20.5 minus, that should give you 322. So answer will be 322 centimeters square. So that was question number 2. Question number 3. The letters spelling the word banana are written on 6 tiles. So we have banana in these tiles. Okay. Part 1. Find the chance that a tile is chosen at random has the letter N on it. So as you can see, we have 2 N's and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the chance will be 2 over 6. That will be 1/3. Now for part B, the 6 tiles are placed in a bag. 3 tiles are chosen at random without replacement. Okay, the first tile is placed in position 1, second tile is position 2, and third tile in position 3. Now, find the chance that the 3 tiles spell BN, ban. So as you know, banana is B-A-N, right? So for it to spell the word ban, the first one needs to be B. So the chance of this happening will be 1 over, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, right? Then for the next one, so this goes away, it needs to be an A. So for this to happen, we have a chance of 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So 1 goes away. And for the last one needs to be an N. And for this to happen, we have a chance of 2 over 4. Okay, this will be our chance. So let's do that. 1 over 6 multiplied by 3 over 5 multiply 2 over 4. That should be 1 over 20. So 1 over 20 for part 1. Now for part 2, the tiles are now replaced and the process is repeated. So we still have banana, right? Third, find the chance that the 3 tiles spell either N or Anna. Give your answer as a fraction in its lowest form. So here we have 2 cases. Let's say for the first one, N, and so for the first one to be an A, we have a chance of 3 over 6. And for this one to be N, we have a chance of 2 over 6. Last one, the same thing, because they are now replaced. So multiply those. That's for the first option. 3 over 6 times 2 over 6 times 2 over 6. That will be 1 over 18. Now for Anna, we have, first one will be 3 over 6 times 2 n's over 6 and 3 over 6. So do that. 3 over 6 times 2 over 6 times 3 over 6. That should be 1 over 12. So it says all here, we have to add them. So this add this. So plus 1 over 18. That should give you 5 over 36. This will be your answer for part 2. And that is question number 3. Question number 4, we have un is the nth term of this sequence. So part 1, write down an expression in terms of n for un. So as you observe, every time it is increasing by 3, plus 3 and plus 3. So same increase every time. So you first write down 3n. Now we know that the first term is equal to 4. That was when n equal to 1. So if you place 1 here, let's say we have 3, 1, that will be 3. You would say this is not the right answer. The right is 4, because we know it's 4, right? So how do we change this to 4? We have to plus 1. So basically we have to plus 1 here. So your nth term, Tn, will be 3n plus 1. So 3n plus 1 will be your answer for this one. Now for part 2, hence find the 20th term of the sequence. So we have to find t, 20. That will be 3 times 20 plus 1. That will be 61. Now moving on to part B, Vn is the nth term of this sequence. So every time we are minus 2, and minus 2. So same difference between them. So same thing here, you will first write down minus 2 and the first term is given to us as what? As 15, and n equal to 1 is 15. So if you put 1 here, you have minus 2. So how can you make minus 2 become 15? You have to plus 17. So same thing here, plus 17. So your answer will be 17 minus 2n. Now part 2, Wn is the nth term of another sequence which is obtained by multiplying un by Vn. Given that Wn is this, find the value of k. So we have to multiply Un and Vn. So Un is equal to 3n plus 1 times Vn, 17 minus 2n. That will be 3n 17 minus 2n plus 1 times 17 minus 2n. So that will be 51n minus 6n squared plus 17n minus 2n. So simplify, we have 17 and 51n minus 2n will be plus 49n and then minus 6n squared. So when you compare this to this, we see that this is Wn. We see value of k will be 49. Okay, so that was question number 4. Moving on to question number 5. Here we have a distance time graph. So we have it is Ravi's cycle journey. He sets out from home and cycles to a park. That's the first stop. And then after a short stop at the park, he then continues to a shopping center. So we have two parts, A and B. And then he stops for lunch at the shopping center before cycling back home. So part 1, at what time does Ravi arrive at the park? So as you can see here, he leaves home at 11. He arrives at the park at this time, which is 11:30. This is pretty easy, right? 11:30, it is the first stop at the park. Now, part B, it says, how many minutes does Ravi spend at the shopping center? So, as you can see, he leaves the park here and arrives at the shopping center here. So what is the value of this time? So this one goes to here. That should be what value? So each square is 336. So 12:36. He arrives at the shopping center and he leaves at this time, which is 1:15. Right. So let's find the difference. So 1:15 minus 12:36. So that will be 0, 10. That will be 4, 5. That will be 9. That will be 2. 6. 6 minus 3 will be 3. So he spends 39 minutes. Now for part C, how far is the park from the shopping center? So pretty easy. As we can see here, the park is here and the shopping center is here. So we have to find this distance. So let's find that. This line will be corresponding to this point. And this line is this. So 10, this is what value? This is 16, 17, 18. So 18 minus 10, you will have 8. Distance will be 8 kilometers. Moving on to part D. At what speed does Ravi cycle home? So let's find out. So cycle home will be the last step. So basically, he leaves the shopping center here and come back home here. So the time he takes is this time. So 14, he took 45 minutes, which is 3/4 of an hour to cycle back home. Now, for the distance he took for the distance between the shopping center to home is this distance, the height. That will be 18 kilometers. So we know that from the graph, he cycled 18 kilometers in 3/4 of an hour. So we have to find the speed per hour. So in 1 hour, he cycled 18 divided by 3/4. So let's do that. 3/4, that will be 24. So his speed was 24 kilometers per hour. Now for part C, between which two places did Ravi cycle the slowest? So slowest here. So as I always say, when we have a speed time graph, the gradient is equal to the acceleration. But when we have a distance time graph, the gradient is equal to what? The speed. So So basically what do we have to look here is to look at this graph and see where is the gradient the smallest, where it is less steep. So here it is steep, less steep, and steep. So that will be where he travels the slowest, between the park and the shopping center. So let's write this down. So he travels between the park and shopping center. That will be part E. Now part F. Salim, Ravi's brother, set out from home at 11:15. He cycles directly to the shopping center at a constant speed of 15 km per hour. So that is his speed. So we also know that from the graph, we know that distance from home to shopping center is 18 km. Okay. So who arrives at the shopping center first? How many minutes later does his brother arrive? So let's first find out what time does Ravi arrive. So from the graph, Ravi arrived at 12:36. Okay. So Ravi arrived at 12:36. So now let's find out when did Salim arrive. So first thing, let's find out how long it takes to travel this distance. So we know that in 1 hour he travels 15 km. Right. So now 18 km he will take how long? He will take, so 1 hour divided by 15 times 18. So 18 divided by 15, that will be, he will take 1.2 hours, which is 1 hour and what is 0.2? So 0.2 times 60, that will be 12 minutes. So 12 minutes. So if he leaves his house at 11:15, he takes 1 hour and 12 minutes. He will arrive at, this is 12:27. This is Salim's time. So question, who arrives first? Salim arrived first. And his brother arrives later. So 36 minus 27, that will be 9. Arrives 9 minutes later. So that will be question number 5. Question number 6. The pie chart not drawn accurately represents the weekly income of 5 employees in a small British company in 2009. So now we have 6 employees: Andrew, Brian, Carol, David, and Ed. 6 people. Now we say Andrew's weekly income is represented by 72 and Brian is by 60. Now, part 1. Andrew's weekly income is 270. Find the total weekly income of the 5 employees. So Andrew is, so 72 degrees represent 270. Now, the total income is this whole circle, which is 360. Will represent 270 divided by 72 times 360. So let's do that. 270 divided by 72 times 360, that will be 1350. So this will be your answer for part A. Now part B, calculate Brian's weekly income. So Brian's have, so same way, 72 degrees is 270. So Brian is 60 degrees, that will be 270 divided by 72 times 60. So 270 divided by 72 times 60, that will be 225. So Brian makes 225 pounds a week. Now part C, Carol's weekly income is 405. Calculate the angle of the sector. So same way again, you would say 270 pounds represents 72 degrees. How much does 405 pound represent? 72 divided by 270 times 405. So let's do that. 70 times 405, that will be 72 divided by 270 times 2. 405, that will be 108. So Carol's angle will be 108 degrees. So let's draw it here in the meantime. So 108. Now for part D, we have David's weekly income is twice as much as Ed's income. Find David's income. So what can we do here is we can say that let Ed's income equal to X. So from this, David's income will be 2X, right? And if you add those two, we will have 3X. So how much does 3X represent? So pretty easy. So as you can see, we have these three angles. What is the remaining angles? So you take 360 minus this, this, and this. So 360 minus 72, minus 60, and minus 108. Remaining 120. So Ed and David will be 120. So basically, 3X represents 120. So X represents 40 degrees. So David's income is 2X, which is times 2, that will be 80 degrees. So now we have to use this to find the income. So same thing, we know that 270 is 72 degrees. So same way, 270 is 72 degrees. So 80 degrees will be 270 divided by 72 times 80. That will be 300 pounds. So he will make that much a week. That's David's income. Now for part E, Andrew paid 20% of his weekly income as tax. He also paid 6% of his weekly income towards his pension. How much of his weekly income did he have left after paying tax and pension? So the first thing he paid 20% off. So 20%. So 20% times 270. That will be $54 as tax. And he pays 6% of his weekly income and pension. So 6%. So 6, that will be 16.2 as his pension. So how much he has left will be 270 minus 54 minus answer. He will have 199.80 left as his income. Now for part F, Carol paid 20% of his income as tax. He also paid X amount of income towards a pension. He then had this much of weekly income left. Find X. So same way, if you pay 20% of your income as tax, so 20%, so you're paying $81 as tax. Now X percent, that will be so basically 45 divided by 100, that will be 4.05x. You're paying that much in pension and tax. So we know that 405 minus 81 minus 4.05x equal to 287.55. So 4.05x is what value? So 4.05, 405 minus 81 minus 285.55, that will be 336.45. So x will be divided by 4.05, that should be 9%. So she paid 9% for the value of X in her pension. Now for part G, Andrew's weekly income of $270 in 2018 was 8% more than his weekly income in 2008. Find his weekly income in 2008. So basically, we are saying that in 2008 and 2009, so his income increased by 8% in 2009. We have to find. So basically, the income now represents 109% because it was increased by 9%. We have to find X, which is 100%. So very easy. We would say 109% represents 270. So 100%, which was back in, represents 270 divided by 109 times 100. So let's do that. That will be 247.7. 71 if you want to. So your answer will be 248 pounds, correct, to 3SF. So that will be question number 6. Question number 7, part A, we have it is a hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F with a rotational symmetry of order 2. Now we have ED as 2P, so 2P. We have EF as Q. We have AF as R. So this direction is R. Okay. So now we have X as the midpoint of CD. X is the midpoint, so this and this are the same. And we have A, Y, YB. So this is 3, and this is 1. Now, how many lines of symmetry does this have? So as you can see, it has 1 here and 2 here. So 2 lines of symmetry. Now for part 1, express this one, EA. So find EA. How do you find EA? EA is this. So EE going to F, which is Q minus R. So EA is Q minus R. Now FC, how would you find FC? So F is this point. You have to move to C. So this direction will be minus Q plus 2P, and this will be minus R. So FC will be minus Q plus 2P and minus R. So let's simplify this so you can understand. FC is FE plus ED and plus DC. So there you go. So FE is minus Q because EF is Q, FD will be minus Q. And then ED will be 2P, and this direction will be, since this direction is R, this will be minus R. That's why we have this, which is 2P minus Q minus R. Now for Fy, where's Fy? So F will be here, Y is here, so I will be this and this. This is what? This is 3 over 4 in total times same direction as 2P. So let's simplify. That will give me 3 over 2P for AY. So Fy will be FA AY. So FA plus AY. FA is minus R plus AY will be 3 over 2P. That will be your answer for this one. So 3 over 2P minus R. Now last one, YX. Where is YX? YX, so we have to move this. This will be 1 over 4P. And what is this direction? BC will be, so if this is if this is Q, BC will be minus Q. And then we have to move C to Y in this direction. That will be half of, this will be, if this is the same as this, so that will be half of R. So the answer is 1/4 P minus Q, half of R. There you go. That will be 1/4 P minus Q and plus half R. That will be your answer for part D. So we can take this out. We can up P here, minus 4Q and plus 2R. Okay. Now part B of this question, we have the same shape. It says it is a similar hexagon, which is 6-sided, to the first one, angle UPS is 95 and PQR is 140. So they have the same rotational symmetry, so it means that this angle here, we will have it on this side as well. If you return this by 180, it should be here. So this will be 140, and this angle here should be here. This will be 95 degrees. Okay, and that's all we know for now. Now, so what else? So part 1, find the angle QPS. So QPS. So what is the size of this angle? So this angle here should give you same as this one. They have a line of symmetry here, so it should map on this one. This will be same as this, so this will be 140. So this will be 140 minus 95. Should be 45. So QPS will be 45 degrees. Now PSR, where is PSR? PSR 95 by rotational symmetry 95, and the last one PUT. So PUT this side. So this one we don't really know, but we know that these four angles here is 140, 140, 140, and 140, right? So 140 times 4 is 560. And we know that this angle here is equal to this one. Let's call this angle X and X. So we know that 2X plus 540 equal to the sum of the angles in a hexagon. So we know that in a hexagon we have a sum of 720 for the angles. So how do you find the sum of all the angles in a hexagon? We know that it has 6 sides. So we use a formula. We say 6 minus 2 times 180. This is how you find the sum of interior angles of a shape. This one you'll have 720, so value of X will be minus 560 divided by 2. That will be 80. So PUT will be 80 degrees. And this will be question number 6. Question number 8, part A. Here we have A and B. This is matrices. We have to find 2A minus B. So pretty easy. We first have to put these two inside. We will have 8, 6, minus 2 and 2. Minus B will be 5, minus 3, 4, and minus 2. So 8 minus 5 will be 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. Minus 2 minus 3 will be 1. And 2 minus 2 will be 4. This will be your answer for part 1. Now for this one, find B inverse. So B is equal to 5 minus 3, 4, and 2. So how do you find B inverse? So we have to find determinant of B is equal to minus 2 times 5 minus 4 times minus 3. That will be minus 10 minus 12. That will be 2. Now adjoint matrix of B, we have to switch the position of these two, become 2 and 5, and the signs of these two become 3 and minus 4. So B inverse equal to 1 divided by determinant of B, which is 2, times adjoint of B, which is minus 2, minus 4, 3, and 5. This will be your answer for part 2. This is part B. Part 1. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. So this one is pretty obvious. You can see that if you turn this way, it is the same shape, but there's a reflection in this line. This is the line, y equal to 1. So let's write that down. It is a reflection in the line y equal to 1. This line. Now part 2. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto C. So since the shape has changed, it will be an enlargement, right? I mean the size has changed. So how do you find the center? So you join the corresponding points and see where they meet. This goes here, and this goes here as well. So the point they meet is this point, so this will be the center. How about the scale factor? So it says now, very important, because usually we tend to take this and compare with this one, but what happens here is that it maps A onto C, so from the big one to the small one. So 2 becomes 1, which means this scale factor is half. So it is an enlargement. Center is -5, 0, and the scale factor is half. Now for part 3, another transformation is represented by matrix P, where P is this. So we have to find the image of A on 2D. So we know that matrix times object is equal to image. So let's do that. Matrix will be 0, 1, -1, 0 times object. A is object, so we have to write all the points in this matrix down. So the first point is 3, 2, 5, 4, and 7, 4. So what do we have? We have -2, -4, and -4. We have 3, 5, and 7. So this will be the points for D. So let's write this down. So -2 and 3, -4 and 5, -4 and 7. So now the last part is describe fully the transformation represented by P. So here we can use a trick just to find it. Pretty easy. If you draw this, your quadrant, this is x, y. If you draw your 4 points, this is 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, -1, and -1, 0. We always begin with this point and this point. So the matrix P is 0, 1, and -1, 0. So first one, how can we make this become 0, 1? So this point became this point, as you can see, and this point here became -1, 0. So this basically what happened was a rotation in this direction of 90 degrees. So answer will be, it is 90 degrees anti-clockwise rotation about origin. This will be your answer for part 4. Moving on to question number 9. The table below shows some values of x and the corresponding value of y for this equation. So with first one, we have to complete the table. So basically we have to replace the value of x in the equation and find the value of y. So for the first one, it is -1. So 2 times -1, -3 times -1 plus 2. That should give me -5. So yeah, -5 will be your answer. If x is 0, -3 times 2, -6. Okay, that was part A. Now part B. On the axis below, plot the points of the graph and join them with a smooth curve. So the first point we have will be -3, 9. So -3 will be here, 9 will be in this section here. Now let's connect the second point. So we have -2, 0. So -2, 0 will be here, -1, 5. -1, 5 will be between 4 and 6 here. 0, -6 will be here. Then we have 1, -3 will be between this. Then we have 2, 4. And we have 3, 15. 3, 15 will be right here. So now we just have to join all the points together and form a smooth curve. So let's do that. So this will be the that's the first point. And for this side, Let's try your best to make it as smooth as possible. So okay, here we go, and the last, okay, here it is. So this is your curve for part 9. So let's move on to the next question. So in part C, it says use your graph to solve the equation this equal to 2. So but first we know that this is y equal to 2. So we have to draw a line y equal to 2 to find the solutions on the graph. So the value of x for y equal to 2. So let's do that. So value of y equal to 2. Let's draw this line and to see where it cuts the graph. That's the line, y equal to 2. So the first point here will be here, and the other one will be here. So this one will be, this value here will be 1.567, so 1.75, and this one will be minus 2.3. Okay, so here you go. Your answer here will be, we have two values. First value is x equal to minus 2.3 and 1.75. Solving the equation for this. So using your graph, right? Now for part 2, find the minimum value of y using your graph. Again, using your graph, you would say that the minimum value will be here, which is value of 6. So y equal to 6, the minimum value. Now next one, find the gradient of the curve at this point, 2, 4. So 2, 4 will be 2 is here, and 4 will be here at this point. So we have to draw a line, the tangent here at this point to find the gradient of at this point. So let's draw this line. So give my first point here will be, this is 2.58, and this point here, let's try, that will be 1, and this is minus, so minus 6, minus 4. So basically this is 5 here. So 1 square is basically 2 units, 2 divided by 5, 0.4. So here we have 1, 2, so 0.8, so minus 4.8. Okay, so we have 2 points. We can use these 2 points to find the gradient. So the first point we have will be 2.5 and 8, and we have 1 minus 4.8. So find the gradient. So y2 minus y1 divided by x1 minus, x2 minus x1. That will be 8.53. So my answer will be 8.53. Your answer could be 8, 9, or 7. That is okay as well. Now part D, show that the x coordinates of the points where this and this would intersect are the solution of this equation. So basically we just have to replace y in the equation and form this equation. Let's do that. So y equal to 1 minus 2x equal to 2x minus 3, x plus 2. Expand, we have 2x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 6. So 1 minus 2x equal to 2x squared plus x minus 6. So that will be 2x squared plus 3 minus 7 equal to 0. So shown as required here. Now for part 2, solve algebraically this equation, giving you answer correct to 2 decimal places. So very easy. We have to use the formula a equal to 2, b equal to 3, and c equal to minus 7. So x will be minus 3 minus b plus minus b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a will be 4. So x will be minus 3 plus minus, so 3 square minus 4ac, that will be square root of 65 over 4. So two values. The first value, let's do plus, minus 3 plus square root of 65 divided by 4. That will be 1.27, or x can be, let's do minus 3 minus square root of 65 divided by 4. That will be minus 2.78. So these will be the two values of x. So first one, minus 27.8 and 1.27. So that will be question number 9. Question number 10, the angle of depression of a boy, B, is here. From a point C is 15 degrees. Okay, this is the angle of depression. Now, what do we have? We see the distance BC is 250, so BC is 250. A seagull S hovers exactly above B such that SP is 300. So what can we do is we can also continue the line on this section here. Yeah, just make as if it is a straight line. So question part 1 is to find SBC. SBC. Find this angle. So very easy. This will be 90. So this is 90 minus 15. That will be 75. SBC will be 75 degrees. Now for part 2, find SC. So SC will be this side. So how can we find this side? So let's have a look. So this is 15, this is 90. So we know this side, and we know the angle in between. So we can find this side. Let's call this side x. We can use the cosine rule. So we know this angle in between and the two sides here. We will use the cosine rule. So cosine will say that cos of the angle here, which is 75, equal to 250, which is this side square, plus this side, which is 300 square minus x square divided by 2 times 250 times 300. So x square is equal to what? So let's solve. Cos 75 times 2 times 250 times 300. That will be this side, which is this value, and then we will do 250 square plus 300 square minus the answer. So this will be x square. So x will be square root of that. That will give me 337.16. So your value correct to 3SF will be 337 meters. That will be value of SC. Now part 3, find the angle of elevation of S from C. Angle of elevation. So find this angle here. How would you find this angle? So pretty easy. We can use, we know this is equal to 337. So we have to find this angle. So we know this side and this side. This is a right angle triangle. We can use SOHCAHTOA. So we know this is the hypotenuse, and we know the opposite side. We have to use sine. So let's do that. Sine of the angle, we don't know. Sine of angle of elevation equal to, opposite side will be, so we have to find the opposite side because we don't know yet. So as you can see, we don't know what is this side only. We know this one, we know this whole thing is 300. So what is this side here? Well, we can just so let's use this angle to find this side. So let's call this side y. So let's call this point M. Let's find the side BM. So what is BM? So BM, here we have a right angle triangle. This is so we know the hypotenuse. So use SOHCAHTOA again. So we know the hypotenuse, so we have to find the adjacent. So this one will be, so if you don't look at this angle here, we take this one, that will be the opposite side. Sine again. So sine of 15. So BM will be sine of 15 degrees will be equal to BM over 250 for the hypotenuse. So BM is equal to what? 250 sine of 15, that will be 64.7. That is BM. So if you know the size of BM, you know that SM will be equal to 300. That will be 235.3. So SM is this length, right? Now if you want to find the angle here, we can just use sine of angle of elevation. That will be 235.3 divided by 337. So let's find that. Divide by 337, that will be 0.698. So E will be sine inverse of the answer. So that should give you 44.3. So the angle of elevation from C will be 44.3 degrees. Okay. Moving on to part B, here we have D is a marker at sea level. This is the point D, below C, due west of B. Now find the side DB. So find this side. So if this is 15, this also will be 15. So we have to use SOHCAHTOA to find DB. Okay, so we want to find the adjacent side, so A and A. We know the hypotenuse, so we have to use cos of this, which is 15, equal to dB divided by 250. So from this, dB will be equal to what? That will be 250 times cos of 15. That will be 241.48. That will be your answer, 4 dB. So you can write 241.5. Now part 2, M is a mark at sea level, 200 meters from B, and the angle here is important. dBm is 30. So dBm, let's say M is somewhat here, and the angle here should be 30. So let's draw this triangle here. So find the area of triangle dBm. So D is this point, B is this, and M, let's say M is here. But angle here, it needs to be 30. So we draw this. We know the length of dB is 241.5, and the length of MB, it is given to us as 200. So we want to find the area of triangle. So we have to use the sine. So half sine of the angle 30 times this times this. So simplify and see what do we have. So half sine of 30 times 200 times 241.5. That will be 12075. So your answer, this will be 12075. That will be the area of triangle dBm. Now for the last part, it says M is a marker due south of B and dN is 450. The boat sails on a circular course through B D, B, and N, write down the radius of the circle. The radius will be half of this, which will be 225. So how do I know this? So if we observe here, it says that here we have the point B, and it is due south of B. Let's say this is point N. So south, this will be 90 degrees, and joining these 2 points, this will be 450, right? So you observe that DBN is a right angle triangle, and if the boat is to travel in a circle between those 3 points, what do you have? So let's draw this again here. So for more clarity, we have a circle. That's the okay, it's not perfect, but you get what I mean. So we have a circle, and then the boat travels in this path. So here we have the point D, here we have the point B, and here we have the point D. So these 2 points, they will be the diameter of the circle, and the reason why is because we know from a theory, it says that the angle over the diameter is 90. So if this is 90, it means that this length here has to be the diameter of the circle. So radius is half the diameter, which is half of 450. That will be 225, and that will be this question. Question number 11. So we have a solid above, consists of a cone and a cylinder. The radius is r and the height is h. Now it says that the height of the cylinder is twice the height of the cone. So this is very important here. So the height of the cylinder is twice the height of the cone. So part 1, find an expression in terms of pi, r and h for the volume of the solid. Give your answer in its simplest form. So basically the height here, the ratio, this is twice this one. So if this was 3, this will be 1 and 2. The ratio, basically this part here will be 2 over 3h, and this one will be 1 over 3h for the ratio of the heights. That's what we have for this information here. Now let's find the volume of the solid. So how do you find this? First, it is volume of solid is volume of cylinder plus volume of cone. So one by one, volume of cylinder is pi r square, h is 2/3 h, plus cone will be 1/3 pi r square, h is 1 over 3h. So let's just simplify this. What do we have? So these are equal. Let's take this out. We will have pi r square 2 over 3h plus 1 over 9h. So simplify 2 over 3 plus 1 over 9. That will be 7 over 9. So we have 7 over 9 pi r square h for volume of solid. Now moving on to part B, it is given that r is 10 and the height of the cone is 15. Okay, so we know that height of cone, which was 1 over 3h, is equal to 15. So the h will be 45. That's the big H. Now the radius is r. Part 1, show that the slant height of the cone is 18 centimeters square. So very easy. Cone, we have to, so as you can see in this shape right here, we know the height of the cone here is given to us as 15 and the radius as 10. So the slant height, by using the Pythagoras theorem, we will have, let's call it L. L square is equal to 15 square plus 10 square. So L will be 15 square plus 10 square, square root, that will be 18.0. So this is the slant height. Moving on to part 2 now. It says, find the circumference of the base of the cone. Of the base of the cone. So the cone is here. So you have to find the circumference of the base of the cone. So let's find that. So the formula here we know is 2 pi r for circumference. So 2 pi r is 10. That will be 20 pi centimeter for the circumference of the base of the cone. So 20 times pi, that will be 62.8 centimeter for the base of the cone. Now for part 3, the curved surface area of the cone can be made into a shape of a sector of a circle with angle theta. Now, show that theta is equal to 200. So how would you show that? You would show that by, because you just found the circumference of the cone. So basically this side here is equal to 62.8. So how do you find the length of arc? You take the angle, divide by 360 times 2 pi, r here is 18. That needs to be equal to 62.8. Or you can write 20 pi. I think let's put 20 pi is more exact. So over 360 times 36 pi equal to 20 pi. So pi cancel. This is 10. So theta will be 200. So this is shown as required. Now for part 4, hence or otherwise find the total surface area of the solid. The solid is this one, so pretty easy. First find the surface area of the cone and surface area of the cylinder and the base area. So total surface area TSA is equal to area of cone plus area of cylinder plus area of base. Area of cone is given to you by pi, r is 10, and L is the slant height, which is 18, and area of cylinder on the curved surface of the cylinder will be 2 pi, r is 10, h is the height, which is 30. So since we know the height h, the big H is equal to 45, so this one will be 30 and the height here will be 15. So that's how we know it is 30 for the cylinder. Now plus the area of the base is just a circle, so pi r square 10 square. Okay, so let's do that. So we have 10 times 18 plus 2 times 10 times 30 and plus 100. That will be 880 pi. So let's simplify. Times pi, that will give me 2000, so 2764.6. So this will be the area of the total surface area of this shape. Okay, so that will be question number 11. Question number 12. So this one is a graph question, so we need some space. That's why I pulled the camera up. So number 12, the time taken by each of the 320 students taking a test was recorded. So these are the results from this students. Now part 1 is complete the cumulative frequency table. Pretty easy. So less than 60 will be 0. So that will be 24. This will be the sum of this. So this will be, you have to add this one. So 116 plus 104, that will give you 220. Now for less than 100, you have to take this plus this. 68, that will be 288, and then you have to plus this. That will be 312, and finally that should give you 320. It should always equal to this number here. So that will be part 1. Good. Now part B. For this part of this question, use the graph paper opposite. Okay. Using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 10 minutes, draw a horizontal m-axis. for 60 to 120. So 2 to represent 10. So let's draw that on this side. So first will be the m-axis for this side, m-axis. This one is a big graph, so I don't have a big ruler, my fault, but next time for sure I'll get a big ruler. So for now, let's give a try and complete this exercise. This is the m-axis, and we have to draw this from 60 to 120, and every 10, so we have to use 2 centimeters to represent 10. So we begin at 60, so 60 is here, and this will be 70, this will be 80, this will be 90, this will be 100, this will be 110, and this will be 120. Okay, not too bad, 120. This will be this part of the graph. Okay, now for the height, it says that using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 20 students, draw a vertical axis from 0 to 320. So let's do that, from 0 to 320, each centimeter for 20. So let's do that. Here we have to draw a vertical axis on this part. Okay, this one is the number of students. We call it cumulative frequency. Now for each centimeter, it is 20. So let's try that. So that will be 20, 40, 60, 80. That will be 100. That will be 120. 140, 160, 180, that will be 200, 220, 240, 260, 300, 320. Okay, so we'll stop at 320. So you can always not start the graph here. You can always divide it equally if you want to. You can always do that. But I was just doing this for convenience, as we know that it can be filmed on this side exactly. But you can always start from like 0 or like from something else to make it fit here as long as possible. But this is also okay because according to the instructions, it's how you do that exactly. So that should be fine. So the next step is to draw the curve. So the first one we have here will be, will be your x and y. 60, 0, that's the first point. So this one is the first point. Next one will be 70, 24. 24 will be here. 80, 116. So 80, 116. That will be 110, 116. So each square is 4, so 104, 108, there you go, 116 is here. And we have 90, 220, 90, 220 will be on this. Then we have 100, 288, 288 right here. Then we have 110, 312. That will be 1, 2, 3. And last one, 120 will be 320. So we have to join all the points to form a smooth curve. So let's do that. Okay. So try your best to make it as smooth as possible. Okay, so this will be about the curve that I will have. So make it as smooth as possible. It is not perfect, but you know what I mean. So you have to make it this shape. smooth as possible. Okay, that will be part B. That is done. Part B here. Now to part, use a graph to estimate the median. Median is the mid value, half of 320, the number of people. That will be the 160th element. So let's find that using the graph. So you have to show your working. So 160th will be about here. So let's draw this point, the line, and then find the corresponding value. It should give you about, so for me it was 85. So for me, I have 85. So you can have 84, 86 should be okay as well. Find the interval range, which is Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 is 3/4 of 320 minus 1/4 of 320. So what is that? Let's find out. So 3/4 of 320, so 3/4 times 320, that will give me 2/40th element minus the 80th element. So let's find those two values and subtract. So 2/40th element will be corresponding to this line. Connect these two and find the corresponding value as well. So for me, this one is 92, and find the 80th value will be here, and this one I have 76. So we will have to do 92 minus 76. That will be 16. So your IQR, the interquartile range, will be 16 minutes. Now for part C, find the percentage of students who took at least 95 minutes to complete the test. At least will be more or equal. So let's find that. The number of people. So we'll go on this because this is minutes. So 95 minutes. It should be on this line. So we'll find the corresponding value for these number of people. So for me, I have 264 people. So I have 264 people which took less than, so more than will be this distance, which is 320. 320 minus 264. So number of people that I have according to the graph will be 320 minus 264. That should give me 56 people. But the question is to find the percentage. So you do 56 divided by 320 times 100. That will be the percentage of people. That will be 9.8%. Okay, so this will be my answer for this part. Now moving on with this one, it is part B. It says a group of 30 students of a similar ability took an equivalent test the previous year. This is the graph for their cumulative frequency. Now we have to find the 20th percentile, so let's find that. So it will be 20th over 100 times, we have 300 people. Now will be the 60th value. So on the graph, let's find the 60th value. So this is 50, and so 1 square should be 5, so 60 will be here. So find the corresponding value. So for me, I have here, which is 76. For me, 76 minutes. Now part B, find the percentage of students who took at least 95. So at least 95 more or equal to 95 to complete the test. So this is minutes. 95 minutes will be here. So this will give me the corresponding value of how many people. So give me on this side. So I will have 225 here. So below this line is the people who took less. but who took more will be above here. So 300 minus 225, that will be 75 people. But we have to find the percentage, so 75 divided by 300 times 100. That will be 25%. Okay, so let's make a comparison between the two tests. So for the first test, only 95 people took more than, only 9.8% took more than 95, and this one they took more than 25% took more. So it means that this test is much harder than the first test, if that makes sense, because when the test is harder, you take more time to do it. So hence make a comparison between the two tests. So tests for the previous year was way harder. You can write that. Test for the previous test. Sorry, time. Tests for the previous year was tougher. That's why they took more time to complete. Okay, according to this study. So that was the last question of this paper. I hope that was helpful. And of course, don't forget to like or subscribe for more content, and it helped me also to produce more videos for you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.